mentioned being in a fear state. What do you mean by being in a fear state?
There are 7 emotions that are neuroscientifically accepted, not just in a Christian neuroscience world, but in a secular one. There is one of those 7 is positive, and that is joy. Again, a secular word, which I think it's so cool that they call that joy. And that resides in your right prefrontal cortex, where all of your higher level thinking happens. It comes together there. The rest are negative emotions. They're umbrella emotions. Fear resides over. So things like anger, sadness, hopeless despair. There's 6 of them, and I'm going to blank 3 of them. But all things that when you trace them back to the source, they're fear related.
And joy, so joy and fear are kind of juxtaposed with one another. And you mentioned like basically fear is ruling over all these other emotions. And when we're in a fear state, it's very hard to connect with God. Is that right?
It's impossible. Like
It's impossible.
They've shown it on fMRIs, the functional MRIs, that when you're in fear, you reside in the back of your brain. That's fear's bunker. But when you can actually turn off fear, get back into a joy state, your brain can fully connect and fire on all cylinders, so to speak, as you deal with others. And even as you deal with things that you are right to be afraid of, you still know you're not alone. Fear puts us in a state of constantly feeling like I'm all alone. It's up to me. I got to fix this. I got to fix you. I got to make this go away. There's all kinds of, every negative thing comes from being in a state of fear.
So those, just, I looked them up for you: fear, anger, disgust, sadness, shame, hopeless despair, and then joy, just to clarify for those that wanted to know and they were trying to figure out what you were saying there. How do you differentiate between this fear state, and I love how you put it, it's the bunker where we kind of hide. I love that description. That's a very good imagery. How do we juxtapose that against the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge and wisdom? What type of fear is that? Is that a different kind of fear that we have? Because some people would say, hey, I'm fear of God. That's a right fear. But we're saying, no, not that type of fear.
Not that reverential fear. It's the awe, the wonder, the fear, as in he is an awesome God. He is all the different facets of his character beyond what we can imagine, versus God who abandoned us, or all the fear really just comes from us thinking we are all alone and we have to get whatever it is that we are clamoring after, whether it's position or money or attention, whatever, because it's up to us.
I'm reminded of C.S. Lewis's description in Narnia when the little girl is starving or needs water, and the lion Aslan is drinking, and she's so afraid of him that she won't come near. And she's like, well, I have to go find someplace else. And he's like, there is no place else. And she's so afraid he's going to eat her. And she's like, will you eat me? He goes, there's no guarantee I won't.
Yes.
There is this awe, as you said before, and with it, there's a trust that comes. I think there is a difference between fear as paralyzed. It paralyzes you because you don't trust. But then there's a fear of trust. Like I had a parental figure. My father passed away when I was quite young, and my grandfather acted as that figure. And I had a fear of him, but it was an awe. There was a love that went with that fear. And I think there's that same kind of idea that's there. Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah, you definitely, I mean, trust is there, hope is there, all those capacities of his grace, his the community of the Trinity is right there to help you get through stuff that otherwise you would think, I'm never going to get through, but you have this peace as it is consistent with his character.